how's it going, YouTube? LtxPrisco here. So, yesterday, I posted a pretty serious and emotional video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was very short, but I do need to get back to the regularly scheduled programming. So even though things are tough and I'm really going through it, I'm going to try to make an effort to continue bringing you deck profiles and weekly updates, as well as local reports. I took a week off because I started a new job, and you know, things just got pretty stressful from there. But yeah, anyways, today I'm going to be going over a bit of a different build. It is my Invoked Crusadia Nemeses build. I was talking about building this a few weeks ago, more so just theorizing and trying to figure out combos. So what I have for you today is, I want to say it's a test build. So obviously this is test build episode 3. I think it's 3. It's a test build episode. So it's not the most competitive right now, but I do have it built decently enough to be able to play well, as well as I want to say it would hang with the rest of the. I don't want to say it'll hang with the meta, but you know, it can hang. Anyways, enough of that. I'm gonna go ahead and get right into the deck profiles. So, transition. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get right into it here. So we're playing 3 copies of Alistair the Invoker. So when trying out different Invoked decks, I should say, I try to play with different archetypes that play a lot of different attributes. So like Tenyi, Shaddoll is an obvious choice, but you know, decks like Tenyi and Crusadia, they use that to their advantage. Let's try to get these centered here. That they play different attributes. So like all my test build videos, I'm gonna go engine by engine. So after the 3 copies of Alistair, we are playing 2 copies of Invocation. Contrary to what a lot of people say, I think that 2 copies is correct and it's perfectly fine, unless you are playing copies, unless you are playing Desires, which in this build I'm not playing Desires, so I don't need the 3rd copy of Invocation. And the only reason I say 2 is fine is because if you open up one, that's fine, but if you open up another, then it's kind of clunky, so you want to minimize that. But if you open up one, you still want to attempt to search off of Alistair, assuming you open up with both, because that can bait out different cards like Effect Veiler, Imperm, and Ash. So that's that. I'm also playing 3 copies of Magical Meltdown. That's pretty standard. And then 1 copy of Terraforming, because why not play a 4th copy of Magical Meltdown, which means that we're playing 7 copies of Alistair. That's pretty much it for the Invoked main deck engine. For the Crusadia cards, I'm playing 3 copies of Maximus. And I'm kind of playing 3 copies of all of the Crusadia monsters right now, just because I'm trying to figure out ratios. I'm trying to figure out which ones are worth cutting down to 2 or 1. But at the moment, because I'm still testing out combos and still testing out the build, I'm trying to play 3 copies of each so I can maximize my chances of seeing each one, and then going from there. And then I'll make the cuts and try to make it competitive by adding hand traps later on. So with that being said, I'm also playing the 3 copies of Crusadia Draco. This one is like a recursion card, so if you normal summon like Maximus and then go into your Link 1 and then special summon Crusadia Draco to that zone that the Link monster is pointing to, then this can bring back your Maximus so that it can be an extender later in the combo. We're also playing 3 copies of Crusadia Leonis. This one's okay if you're going for like OTKs and your opponent only has like a defense position monster, because then this would allow it to do piercing damage. But that's really all it's good for. I'm also playing 3 copies of Arborea. This is also a needle fiber target, although I'm not playing needle fiber in this version of the build. It is a needle fiber target. It's a tuner, and it allows you to go into your Croco Dragon play, which I'll show you in a second. And then to round it off, we're also playing 3 copies of Reclusia. This can be like back row removal, I guess. And we're playing 1 copy of World Lance, but I feel like this is easily cuttable. This is more so just for like the go second OTK version. And then for the spells, as of right now, I'm playing 3 copies of Testament and 1 copy of Power. But that's because I can't find any more copies of Power, at least in my bulk. If I did, I'd be playing 2 and 2. Or 1 and 1, depending on how things go. Simply because this is searchable anyway. Now for the Nemesis cards, I'm playing 3 copies of Nemesis Flag. If you've seen any of my other videos that I am using the Nemesis cards in, you know that I play the pretty standard Nemesis engine, 3 flag, and then 1 umbrella, 1 corridor. In this version, I'm only choosing to play Escados just because I feel like this is the better one out of the 2, Escados and Protoss. Because this can stop your opponent from using types, so it'll hurt like rocks, it'll hurt Eldritch because they can't summon zombies and rocks can't summon rocks. It'll hurt like very specific deck types, whereas the other one, if you just claim dark, then, well, it's blowing up itself. Well, not technically, because they can't be destroyed by card effects, but you know what I mean. Most decks nowadays are dark. And then for extenders, I'm playing 2 copies of Destiny Hero Malicious, just because it's very abusable in the Nemesis engine. And I'm playing 3 copies of Parallel Exceed to round it off. So that is our 40 card deck. Parallel Exceed is more so just to help us get into Garrus, and also to pitch the Mali to the graveyard, if we do open up with that. For the extra deck, I'm playing 1 copy of Amaraj, 1 Secure Gardna, and 1 Invoker of Madness. And that's pretty much it for the Invoked related links. Then for the Crusadia links, I'm playing 1 Magius, 1 Spatha, 1 Regulex, 1 Equimax, and 1 Avermax. Pretty self-explanatory. Magius is a searcher from the deck for your monsters. Spatha was used for like the Guard Dragon combo for a while, but allows you to like move cards that this points to into another zone. And then Regulex will search out your spell cards, which is why I said that the cards can be 1 and 1. This is good for OTKs. It's also a negate if you happen to have like 1 extra Crusadia monster that it's pointing to. And then this one is also good for OTKs, but also protects your board. For some generic links, I'm playing 1 Nightmare Phoenix and 1 Barricade Board Blocker. Just more ways to discard your Mali if you ever happen to open with it, because you really don't want Mali in your hand. And then I'm playing 2 copies of Invoked Makaba, 1 Croco Dragon, 1 Calamities, and then 1 Dugaris. Depending on the opening hand, I'll end on like Calamities that has Croco Dragon and Makaba under it, and if I open up or if I happen to draw into another copy of Invocation, then I'll get the second Makaba on board, and then I'll have either a Equimax pointing to Crusadia monster for a negate, or I'll have Avermax and then I'll also have Escados on board. It really just depends on the board. But that's on the opening hand. But that's the best that I've been able to come up with. So I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle up the deck and do a test hand, and let's see what we got. All right, so shuffling up the deck here. I've already did a couple of shuffles, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do a couple of final cuts here. Boom. Oh, whoa. Okay. So let's see what we get. So, Parallel Exceed, Nemesis Flag, Malicious, Maximus, and Alistair. Alright, I mean, this is like okay. I didn't really open up with anything. I mean, I got my one card here that can like start everything. But let's just go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit so we can see more of the board. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and start off by normally summoning Alistair, which will allow us to search for Invocation. Have Invocation in hand, link off the Alistair for Almirage. Now we could do a Parallel Exceed, but that will extend us too far. First, we're going to special summon Maximus here, and then we'll link off the Almirage for Secure Gardna. Now that's 4 summons. Activate Invocation will banish a Secure Gardna and the Alistair, and then we'll go ahead and go into our Makaba. So now Makaba is our 5th summon. We're safe from Nibiru. Alright, so now we'll shuffle this into the deck to add our Alistair back to hand. Shuffle that up real quick. Alright. So next we will link off the Maximus for Magius. Now here we can trigger Parallel Exceed, which will trigger Magius, and then we'll also be able to get the other Parallel Exceed effect. So we can do it either way that we want, because this is going to be happening at the same time. So we can do Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2, or Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2. Doesn't really matter. Either one is susceptible to Ash. So we're going to be doing Chain Link 1, Chain Link 2. So we'll get the Parallel Exceed and we'll search out our Draco. Alright, so shuffle up again. Now we are going to Xyz. Be careful not to put it here. Into Dugaris. And it doesn't really matter what we draw here. The only thing that we're looking to do is get Mali into the graveyard. Detach 2, we'll skip our next draw phase, and we'll draw 2 cards. So, not bad. Okay, and we'll discard Mali to the graveyard. Now this is okay. What we can do here, link off these 2. We'll go into Regulex, just for the moment. Now we can banish Mali to summon another copy of himself. And that'll trigger Regulex. Regulex will search out either Testament or Power. I'm just going to grab either one. It doesn't really matter at the moment. Actually, I would say Power. Just because that can like help protect from certain like hand traps. Testament's more for going second. So we got Power. Now we can use... I can do Flag. Yeah. Well, hold on. First, we can link off these 2. And now we go into Spatha. And then we'll do Nemesis Flag effect. to target the Mally that's banished to shuffle itself back. And there we go. So next, we can special summon Draco. Oh, we can use Nemesis flag to search. So, oh, that's already on the bottom. That's good. We'll search out the Escados. We'll save that for last. And then use Spatha's effect to move Draco over. Now, Draco, when it's special summoned, we can also search, get our Maximus back from the grave, which is like okay, but it's already been special summoned, so it doesn't really matter. And use Spatha to move it over, and then we'll go into Arborea, and now we can synchro for our Croco Dragon. Now, Croco Dragon's effect is going to allow us to draw 2 cards. So first, the Invocation and Umbrella. Okay. Really weird I'm getting these one-offs. But this is fine, because now we have more extenders. We can make VFD right here. Put it in defense mode for now. What can I do here? I can do, oh, that's right, Mally effect. This is what I mean that Mally is abusable with the Nemesis cards. So Mally effect to summon another copy of Mally. Shuffle up, and then we can do Umbrella to special summon itself by shuffling the Mally back. We're just going to put that on top because we're going to go right back in a second. And now we can link off these two. Oh, first, before we do that, we can use Umbrella's effect to get Flag back into our hand, just for later on. And now link off these two to go into... we can go into Nightmare Phoenix or Barricade Board Blocker. It doesn't really matter. So I'm gonna go into Barricade Board Blocker just because Nightmare Phoenix might come in handy later on. And if we want to, we can use Barricade Board Blocker's effect to discard. But we don't really have anything that we really want to see engraved. So, yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. And then we can link off these two for our Avermax. Then we can use Invocation and discard the Alistair, and we can banish any light out of our graveyard, so we can banish the Spatha. And here we'll get the other Makaba. And then, I mean, we can maybe extend some... No, because this is kind of worthless right now. But we can do this. Escados. We can special summon Escados by banishing 3. So we can, 3 of different types. So we can banish Machine, Aqua, and Beast. And then we can declare whatever we need to declare. We can set Crusadia power, and then we've got 3 extenders in hand for next turn. So this is like an okay. Actually, no, this is pretty good now that I think about it. If I would have gotten, instead of Corridor, another Crusadia card, I could have ended on Equamax instead of Avermax. And I could have then put this pointing at like the whatever Crusadia card that I drew into, and then I would have had a negate, but we didn't do that. So, but this is still pretty good if you really think about it, because I have a negate everything. You can't protect any of my. You can't attack any of my stuff because I have this on field. I've got another like spell and trap negate. Well, technically a monster negate because I set this to protect this, and then I have this which says that hey, you can't play, you can't summon monsters of whatever type I say. So if like I'm playing against Orcus, I'm gonna say no machines, but then again I have Makaba on field, so that kind of sucks. But I can say like You know, if I'm playing against Salad, then, well, I have the Cyberus on field, so that's not good. But if I'm playing against, like, rocks, Adamantipator, I can say no rock. Or if I'm playing against Eldritch, I can say no zombie. You know, all that good stuff. But anyways, that's just one of the combos here. I'm already, like, dragging this out quite a bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. So like, comment down below what you think. Subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, let me know what you think down below. I really think that this is a really good build. It's really really solid, really powerful. I'm going to adjust it some more in the coming weeks, but for right now I want to focus on getting back into locals and getting my head back on right. If you watched my last video, then you know what I mean. Obviously, like, I washed my hands, but they're still kind of dirty just because of the, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Just because of the type of work that I do, I'm always getting dirty, and I'm getting a lot of grease and muck and shit on my hands, and even if I wear gloves, it really doesn't help. So anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed. I'm already pushing like 20 something minutes here, so I'm not going to take up any more of your time. Peace out. Love you all. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.